Hi there. Today we're going to cover a particular tip, which is calculating a date difference which will exclude your weekends. So generally we have some requirement from time to time where we need to calculate today's date minus the perhaps any date, today's date minus any date which is on our field, and we need to exclude weekend big and holidays too. So we're going to cover that with Power BI, and Power BI does not have that readily available formula, so you have to calculate one on your own. So first, let me take you through what is the normal scenario? Like if you did not have to do any factor in weekends, and you could just straight away calculate time differences, then it would be just simple. You just calculate this difference column, and you do a date time local now minus working date. This will actually provide an error. Why? Because your date time, because date time local now is a date time data type, and the data type here, the working date, is a date data type. So that won't go with date time. So you need to convert this to a date time operator. So let me do that now. Date time dot date. Again, in Power Query, intelligence doesn't work always, so I'll always recommend having a the Google documentation, the Microsoft documentation handy, so that you can readily uh, reference this formula. So now, when you hit OK, you see that you have this nice plan. This is actually trying to calculate the time. So let me change that to a whole number, and you see 2511. Today is 2611, as you can see here. So 2511, it's showing one day. 2411, 2 days. Okay. Now the thing is, I need here. So you see here, 1911, it's being shown as 7 days. That's including the weekends. But if we exclude the weekend, the 1911 should be something like 7 minus 2, so 5. So how are you going to do that? For this, we will need a function. So let's go ahead and create a function, and later we'll invoke that function. So I'll go to new source, a blank query. Then I have this nice little blank query. Then I'll go to the advanced editor, and this is your Power Query mashup language. Here you can write the mashup code. When you're starting a function, start with your parameter value. So let's call the parameter value the current date. Later, you will map this parameter value to the function when you're invoking it. So this is the syntax, and you can just start. So your let will have the query, the whole query. The in will have the output. So if it's, suppose if it's like a SQL, if you're comfortable with SQL, then you will suppose like this will have the from, where, and everything, and this is the column in select statement. I mean, if you want to take it like that. So let's start off and source. So let's think of the algorithm first. What will we need? First, we will need like to identify which is the weekend and which is the weekday. For that, we will need, firstly, we will need the current date and the date in question. Like if the particular date, which in like previously we saw that there was a date for 19th 11 2020. So we need 19th 11 2020 on one side, and 26/11/2020 on the other side, and we need the list, and we need to exclude the weekends from that list. For loop is one way to do it, but in Power Query, the for loop is not like there is for loop function with list function only. With list class, you have some for loop functions. I'm not a huge fan of that, but this is a particular thing that I found easy. So let me share this one with you. So first, we are going to need the same formula that I did there. Date time local now minus your current date. Current date is this one, the parameter. Later, this parameter will be fed in from your column. Now, as we said, date time local now we will return a date time. That would be incorrect. So you have to go with date time dot date. And that should give you the number of date difference between current date and the date in question. Let's see now. So again, we will face another problem with this. So I don't just want to go ahead and show the problems. I want you guys to actually face the problem so that you will understand. So I'm not going to give the solution right away, but you will face a problem with this right in a few times. So we have the date difference. Why do we need the date difference? Because in my mind, I want something like from the current date, go back number of day difference and give me a list. This is my algorithm. This is the algorithm I'm thinking. So right now I have the number of day difference between your date and the number of day difference, the date in question and your current date. So if like suppose it's 7 days, if it's 19th 11, it's 7 days, then I need a list of all the dates from 26/11 and going back to 19/11, and I need to remove the weekends from that. That is my algorithm. So what are we going to do here now? Let's see. So the algorithm that I'm saying will be possible with this one. List dates, Power Query, list dates. So this, the list dates you will need a start date. Start date will be the current date, today's date, count as a number, and step as a duration. Now let's read the about. It returns the date of value size count starting at the start. So basically it means that whichever date you give and you provide the iteration 5, so it will go back 5 places and it will exceed or precede according to the duration that you give it. The duration, if you provide 1, it means 1 day. This 0, 0, these are hour, minute, second. So let's also check out this one. This is actually a parameter in Power Query, duration in Power Query. This is a parameter. So this creates a value. So this is days, hours, minutes, second. We need the days. So I hope you have the algorithm in your mind now. So let's start building. First, we will need the current date. Current date is this one only, right? So we can just copy this one. Date is equal to, and this is showing a red underline. Why? Because I did not precede with a comma. Basically, in your Power Query in Mashup language, you need a comma after all the statements. Otherwise, it will try to run everything in a batch. So this is a line which will run this line first, then run this line. So comma is used as a separator. If you're working in SQL, take comma as the go. So go or semicolon that you give, that would be the separator. So you have the date time local now, date time date. So we're good with this one. Now we need that exact thing. I'm going to copy that one because I'm lazy. So let's call it QR. Do not name variable like this. Generally isn't a good practice. So I need to start from the current date and I need to go back how many places? The number of places, which is the difference days. I need to go back the difference days between current date, today's date, and the date in question, which is this one, right? So go back, source, and duration. Again, the duration I'll need from here. And with positive one, it would mean that it will go like it will go forward, not backward, and need to go backward. Like if you give positive from current date, it will go 26/11, 27/11, 29/11, 28. I don't need that. I need to go backward. So negative one. This is exactly like the date dot add. If you have not seen date dot add, go through it. It's similar. So let's return this one because I don't want to prepare a whole thing and see that we have a problem. So this is the last variable that we created, and I'll output this variable through in. So let's go ahead and I have a issue. Why? An error occurred. Query expression. The name date time date wasn't recognized. Date time date. Time date. Yeah, I know this is annoying. That time date wasn't recognized because I had it in lower caps. I mean, in Power Query, every first letter is in upper caps. Now we have that error which I was talking about. Right? The name source wasn't recognized. The name source was not recognized. Sorry, this is too much case sensitive. Okay, we have it. We have it. Good. So let's provide 26/11, 2020 and invoke. And we have that error. We cannot convert the value duration to type number. So why are we seeing this error? Because here we are using this source as a number. But the problem is this is a date time constant. See, this is a date type data type. So this returns a date data type still. I know this should return, I mean, if this was that intuitive, it should return a number, but hey, what are you going to do? So convert this to number from and what we have. This is not returning anything because right now it's calculating 26 minus 26. Today's date is 26/11. It's calculating 26 minus 26, 0. So nothing. If I change it to 20 and see, we have these dates. So we have the first date. We have the list of dates. All we need to do is just deselect the weekends. So here the weekends are on 22, 21. So 22, 21, we need to deselect that and take a count. That is as simple as that. So let's start working again. So for weekends, we can actually use a function, a date function, which is date day of the week. Date dot day of week. Yeah, date day of week. So date day of week will return date. Will require date. The first day of the week. That's an optional. We don't really need that. So the day of week will provide you the number of days. Like Sunday will be 0, Monday will be 1, and then we need to, and Saturday will be 6, right? So we just need to calculate the day number of days from that. So after that we do that, we can just exclude 0 and 6, 0 being Sunday and 6 being a Saturday. It's simple. So we need to transform this list there. So how can we transform this? We can use list dot transform. Again, I might not be walking you through all of the formulas, all the functions, but if you're seeing these functions for the first time, I'll recommend you to go through this in the Microsoft documentation, because I mean, with Power Query, it's with Power Query might get a little bit intimidating, because a lot of times IntelliSense won't show up. You have the simple case sensitive errors, so better go through that. List.transform, and list.transform, I need you to transform this QR list, and for each return a date dot day of week. Okay, what did we do here? Basically, list of transform. In list of transform, we provide the list in the first instance, first parameter. Then we give the iteration that for each of the items in that list, convert it to date, day of week, and with this underscore, we provide actually the output, the number from that list, the item, like list item 1 will go here, list item 2 will go here. So it iteratively run this. So let me now output the IR. See, we have it. So 6 is a Saturday, 0 is a Sunday. Now we just need to exclude this Saturday and Sunday, and we'll have our formula. So after this one, we can use a list select method. The have to So we have the list select method that requires a list selection as a function. Basically, if you have a list, then you'll have to select with underscore bring each item in the list greater than 0. So it returns 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, and 9, which is greater than 0. So let's go ahead and create that list select. So we have two items. We have 0. We have 0 being and 6 being Saturday. So we'll need 1 for 0, 1 for 6. TR list dot select. We need IR and transform each for which the output is equal to 6 in similar way. To 0. Now let's just calculate this because this one's simple. I mean, this select will just give you one, the number of weekend, which is 6, which is Saturday, and this select AR will give you 0, which is Sunday. So all we need now is count. That's it. So there is also a list count method that will just provide you a count of the number of items in your list. So that is the easy one. Count list dot count tr plus list dot count. That's it. So let's return count. See what we have. Two. For 2011-2020, if I go back to 2011-2020, we see that there are 2 weekends falling in that. That is correct. So now all we need is just this one, the original number of days difference minus this count. That's it. And which is 6. So from 2011, it's not taking Saturday. 1, 2, 3, 7. It seems that it's returning the same number that we had. That's incorrect. Why? Because we have the source and the count in one. I mean, this is another thing in Power Query. It's better to just calculate your items and put the variable and then do the variable to variable matching or variable to variable calculation. So this should be just calculate the count. Simple, just calculate the count. Minus this, this. And that's it. We have 4. So 26/11 from 20 Friday we have Saturday and Sunday. We left Saturday and Sunday. So 20 is being counted. So Friday, Monday, Tuesday. No, 20 is not being counted. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and 2 days. So it's leaving 1 day. I mean, so 4. That's the exact item that we need. Now we just need to invoke this one. Let's delete the invoke function. This was only for our benefit. We'll invoke it over here. So invoke function, and with invoke comes the new date. So let's click difference. Query 1. It's telling me something. It has the same column name. That's right. So here you'll get to map it. So you need to map the working date to your parameter. And that's it. You have it. 25/11, 1, 24/11 is 2, 20/11 is 4, the one that we calculated. We have some error values here because we did not anticipate the like future dates. Here we have a future date 14/12. Today is 26/11. So the program fails. We do not need to worry about that. The error values will be we'll talk about the error values in a separate session. So thank you for joining, and please subscribe. Thanks.